Scala Precision Health specializes in cutting-edge research, metabolic testing, and advanced imaging for the purpose of creating individually customized disease-specific treatment protocols and performance enhancement solutions. Our research and development pushes innovative performance solutions into the hands of individuals, companies, physicians, and athletes.
Scala Precision Health has been working with current and former athletes since 1996, developing performance enhancement solutions and treatment protocols that are beyond the standard of care. Our testing evaluates genetic, metabolic, and cellular markers, allowing us to design a program that is specific to you and only you, treating the body as a whole and as unique as each of us are. Today, you're going to hear from Russ Scala and former NBA player Nick Anderson on our Nutritional Performance Enhancement Program. A program designed to keep you performing at your highest while in the game and to keep you thriving long after the game.
Folks, really excited today. I'm with former NBA player Nick Anderson. We're going to talk about customizing his nutrition program, something that's never been done before in the game. We started testing athletes in 2004. And one thing I realized when I work with these professional athletes, when the entourage is gone and the crowd stops cheering, the athletes are left to fend on their own to go into a medical system that's broken. So here today we're going to hear from Nick about our advanced treatment protocol that we developed for.
Hey Russ, thanks. You mentioned about when the lights go down, where does the athlete have to turn? The heads are turning left and right. You know, you don't have anybody to look forward to like you had when you were playing in the game when the lights were bright. So now you try to find questions. What do I do from here? So I'm glad you mentioned about the nutrition and how it's helped me. You know, after all these years of not playing professional sports anymore, now I need that same activity that I had when I was playing. So I'm glad that I turned to this nutrition, and with your help, it's been a blast.
You wanted to cut some weight, right? Yeah. So when we tested this is your Krebs cycle, how you create energy. Okay, so you, right here, when you were not breaking down carbohydrates. So now we're getting you the meds you need to break down carbohydrates, the nutrition, your B vitamins. Now for the first time, you're breaking down carbohydrates and your insulin level is staying down, so you're not burning body fat. People that don't break down carbohydrates store a lot of body fat. And now we're getting your intestinal tract in balance. So now you're pulling nutrients out of food more efficiently.
Okay, Russ, explain to me what you can do for other athletes and people in general.
One of the things that we could do now by testing people on a cellular level, Nick, when you eat your meal that's full of fats, carbohydrates, and protein, you're going to break them down all differently, and you need nutrition to break these down, which a lot of people don't understand. In your case, you were not breaking down carbohydrates, you were elevating insulin levels, and you were storing body fat. Now that we tested you for that, we got you the B vitamins that you need. Now you're going to be burning body fat, probably for the first time. And then we tweaked your diet a little bit, okay? Other athletes are not breaking down protein. Some athletes don't break down fats well. This is why this program is customized only to Nick Anderson. If I test 5 other professional athletes, their deficiencies will be different. Okay?
So in other words, no program is the same for no one.
Exactly.
Okay.
I say everybody's biochemically unique, but I like the way you said it better. Everybody is different. Medicine has one Model T Ford coming off the assembly line for everybody. I'm customizing this for only Nick Anderson.
Russ, let's talk about emotions, the things that players go through during their time as professional athletes. I don't care what sport you're playing, there's emotions involved. There's those highs and then those lows. Everybody can deal with those high times. What about those low times? You know, I experienced a low point in my career in a ball game, and it happened to be in the NBA Finals when I missed 4 free throws in a game.
Wow.
And it affected me on the court and away from the court. It was something that I had to deal with, and I really didn't know who to turn to deal with it. And it kind of got me to a low point in my life.
Nick, what you said makes a lot of sense because we tested war veterans and emergency service personnel. They experience the same thing that you experience. When you're in the game, playing at that high of a level, you lower your feel-good chemicals. You got all your stress hormones elevated, no different than a war vet, and you lower serotonin, dopamine, and adrenaline levels. We could look at the brain chemistry right now through the testing that we do, and to help them get through this rough spot.
Okay, Russ, with me being a former athlete, dealing with stress on the court, and then that stress at home. For those people out there, explain to them what this program can do to help them.
Okay, Nick, I'll make this really basic so we could understand physiologically what's going on. Physical, mental, and emotional stress is damaging to us. Okay, physical, mental, and emotional stress. You're playing the game, then you get off work and you have family issues, you've got other players to deal with. All that stress does something. It elevates cortisol levels. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and when cortisol levels go up, not only does it damage your brain chemistry, but it suppresses all your hormone levels. War veterans, EMS personnel, professional athletes I've been testing since 2004, elevated cortisol lowers testosterone, lowers growth hormone, and these hormones you need to recover from the next day. It lowers, as we discussed, your feel-good chemicals in your brain. So a lot of physicians don't test for this, but we know that stress compromises the body, and this is the system that it compromises. Chronic stress shuts off everything like it's like a clock. Now, acute stress would be something like lifting weights, running intervals. That's beneficial. There's certain stress that's beneficial, but the chronic stress, being in the game, running all up and down the court, not getting proper nutrition, your intestinal tract not pulling nutrients out of food, and over time compromises your whole system. Low testosterone, low thyroid, low cortisol, and now you get fatigued and you don't feel good and you don't want to start playing with your kids. You want to eat bad food to elevate your feel-good chemicals. That's sort of how the dominoes fall.
With that stress that keeps your mind just running 100 miles an hour
Exactly.
all day, all night.
And that's what a lot of the Army veterans, the war veterans say, I can't shut my brain off, Russ. And that, I'm glad you brought that point up because that is part of chronic stress. That's from elevated cortisol levels. So when this happens, you're in your early career, when all your hormones are functioning properly in your 30s, as you stay in the game, all these levels dip off, but nobody tests you for that. What we did with Nick was we tested all these hormone levels and we elevated the deficiencies. We corrected Nick's hormonal levels based on his physiological range. Okay, that's getting him feel better, that's helping his brain chemistry, that's helping him burn the body fat that he was trying to get rid of. We also tested his intestinal tract, which we know now is the second brain. If your intestinal tract is out of balance, it's going to affect your brain chemistry, it's going to affect your performance. So now we have a view of the flora, the 1,000 different flora in Nick's intestinal tract, and we're adjusting them now to improve his brain chemistry.
Well, Russ, I'm glad you mentioned about the intestine tract. I was diagnosed with what they call diverticulitis, and that does have something to do with everything that's going on in your brain.
Exactly, and when you're done with the game and you start running scenarios in your head at night, and then you're thinking about everything that went on, it causes imbalances in your intestinal tract. That's that stress. So now we have a view of the flora, the 1,000 different flora in Nick's intestinal tract, and we're adjusting them now to improve his brain chemistry.
Well, Russ, let me mention about the guys. What are they doing after the game when the lights go down? You know, we talked about the emotions. Some of them hold on to those low emotions. Some have those high emotions. So with this program, it's here to help guys that are in that situation, and it certainly has helped me.
The point that you made was a lot of these athletes, after they retire and they're not in the lights anymore, what do? And that's where your mood could, you could lead into depression. Yeah. You see what I mean? So I want to put a shield up for these guys, make them aware that during their career they should take care of themselves so they have an opportunity to increase their quality of life as they age instead of just hitting those low spots that you talked about.
Right. I'll just put it like this, stay in the game.
Right, yeah, there you go.
You have to stay in the game. Mentally, physically.
I think, Nick, what we could do is help an athlete not go down the wrong road of traditional medicine. If his brain chemistry is out of balance, we could focus on his intestinal tract, which is a second brain. We could offer nutrition for these athletes that will help their brain chemistry, help their mood, where now they're really not offered anything but antidepressants and anxiety drugs. And, I'm not shooting those down, but many times they're not the best first-line treatment.
Well, Russ, you talked about the customization of the nutrition program. It's just not for retired athletes It's for all athletes and all people. So explain to them more about the program here.
Well, what we do for athletes is we're able to customize their nutrition program. Instead of just going in and swallowing a handful of vitamins, we're able to do testing that focuses on the uniqueness of each athlete. We're able to look at deficiencies in how they process food. We're able to look at their intestinal tract. And we're able to increase performance by customizing nutrition and the diet for these athletes. And that's why I'm so excited to have Nick help us kick off this program.
This program has been very beneficial to me, and I just want to thank you.
Everybody and everybody has a story. Let us find out yours today.